One day Jesus, peace be upon him, set out on a long journey, accompanied by one of his disciples. They wandered the paths of the earth, calling hearts to God, awakening souls from their slumber, and teaching that true asceticism is not poverty, and that honesty is richer than all the treasures of the world. Their only provision for the journey was 3 loaves of bread, carried as enough sustenance until God would grant relief or a destined encounter. As they walked in the quiet of the road and the solitude of travel, Jesus spoke with the calm authority of a master. If they met someone in need, they would give him a loaf. They soon parted briefly for a trivial errand. Upon returning, Jesus looked at the bread and found only 2 loaves remaining. His face betrayed no anger. His voice bore no accusation. He turned to his companion with gentle eyes and asked who had eaten the 3rd loaf. The disciple lowered his gaze and whispered a single heavy phrase, weightier than all the bread in the world. He did not know. Jesus said nothing. He neither argued nor rebuked. Together they continued their journey, for silence is sometimes a test, not a failure. Soon they came upon a blind man, long afflicted and cut off from all help. Jesus stopped, lifted his hands to the heavens, and prayed sincerely. He touched the man's eyes, and by God's will, sight returned to him. Turning to his companion, he asked again who had eaten the loaf. The man, preceded by silence, answered that he did not know, and they moved on. Next they encountered a leper, his body ravaged, his spirit burdened. Jesus prayed and laid his hand upon him, and God healed him instantly. Once more he asked who had eaten the loaf, his tone free of anger or doubt. The disciple, silence now heavy upon him like a mountain, replied again that he did not know. Jesus remained silent once more and walked on. Then God guided them along the road to find 3 gleaming dinars, their shine captivating, their value great in that age. Jesus paused and said, "These belong to the one who had eaten the loaf." And now the silence broke. The man spoke quickly, as though the word had been waiting for the gold. He had eaten it. Jesus looked upon him with eyes that see beyond mere faces, and said calmly and decisively that the reward was his. The man, conscience awakening late, asked why Jesus had not contradicted him when he first denied it, and why all of this had been done. Jesus replied that there had been no one on the road but them, and God watches over all. He had called upon him by God's name, and he had witnessed signs and miracles, yet he did not confess. When he glimpsed the fleeting pleasure of the world in 3 dinars, the truth came from his lips swiftly. Here they parted. Jesus continued on the path of prophecy, humble, truthful, steadfast of heart. The disciple went his own way, having exchanged a great trust and the companionship of a noble prophet for 3 fleeting coins.